show it
So
all
as they
for you.
rolled it by, was everybody just like grabbing butts for good luck as it went by?
No, because it was on a forklift, so by the time it was
Oh,
rolling, nobody could touch it. But thankfully, those of us who were there early gotta get our feels in. So, Mark, we're going to get in the show, talk about Vegas. I saw the Crazy Girls bus get removed this morning. We have a lot to talk about. Wynn Status match. My wife hit a royal flush. A lot of things happened. So, we'll get there in just a second. But we have even more exciting things. Our first MTM Vegas live stream is happening next week on June 23rd. It's going to be a ton of fun.
I'm looking forward to it. Interacting live with all the viewers and getting questions and jokes and telling our stories and kind of more laid back atmosphere. Just shooting the bull, I guess you would say.
There you go. Keeping the language good, at least for now. I don't know if I'll be able to keep that language good on the live stream. Hopefully, but yeah, we're doing the live stream. Bethany from Bougie Miles and Adam from Travel Fanboy are going to join us for part of it. We're going to talk about the best side of the strip, east versus west. This is an idea that we've had for a while. So it's going to be a lot of fun stuff, a lot of fun stories and games. 2 hours of it. So join us 5 p.m. Vegas time to 7 on 23rd of June. We're also want to announce the MTM Vegas podcast is going to launch in the next week or two. We're still working out the exact date, but it is launching. That's going to be a longer form version of this show. I guess this show is our MTM Vegas news show, which will remain on YouTube. We want to do a longer form conversational show where we laugh and joke and have fun and talk about Vegas. So if you're obsessed with Vegas, love podcasts, check that out. We'll have more information on next week's show. We'll have a firm date and URL and everything else for you. And we're also going to be doing a monthly live stream every month now with Bethany from Bougie Miles, calling it the MTM Vegas Happy Hour, which is just going to be like it sounds, a lot of fun, BSing about Vegas, a little bit more of a loose show. And man, I'm looking forward to it. If you've never seen Mark and Bethany together, they're a lot to keep up with. I'll do my best, but it's going to be a ton of fun. So check out our first live stream next week. Look for the podcast, and then every month look for the live stream, Mark and me and Bethany. So fun. Now let's get into the show. So Mark, I spent my whole morning at Planet Hollywood with some crazy girls and their nice butts and watching them get moved and go all over the Las Vegas Strip. And it was a good time. But Crazy Girls, as we know, is now closed at Planet Hollywood, and they had to get rid of the statue.
Now, have you ever been to the show? I've never actually been to the show before.
I have not been to the show, but I have this personal history with it because I was at Riviera on the closing, and so I watched it be removed from the Riviera frontage. It sat on the strip at Riviera, actually outside on the frontage, and back then it wasn't attached to anything. It was attached to the building. So when they took it off, the front side is hollow, and you could see the whole front side. When they moved it to Planet Hollywood, they attached it to a platform. So them moving it today was a little bit different, but I was glad to be able to see it. There were some cool shots of watching it get rolled around the Las Vegas Strip. They basically rolled it out the front of Planet Hollywood, all the way to Harmon, and then around the corner into a driveway. And it took them a long time to do it, like 3 hours. So it was a process that everybody out there should be happy that I did this for you, and you get some nice video from it.
So as they rolled it by, was everybody just like grabbing butts for good luck as it went by?
No, because it was on a forklift, so by the time it was rolling, nobody could touch it. But thankfully, those of us who were there early gotta get our feels in. And of course, the legend is you touch the butts for good luck, and it brings you good fortune and stuff like that. And they're going to storage, and
it didn't work for the Riviera.
it didn't work for the Riviera, and it didn't work for the show at Planet Hollywood either.
That's true. They must not have rubbed it good enough. I don't know.
But I did get my last rub in this morning. That's on video. But they had the Crazy Girls out there talking a little bit, and it was fun. It was good to see it, and it's a cool part of Vegas history. It sort of bridges that old Vegas and new Vegas. The show opened in '88, but it was at the Riviera, so it still had this very old feel, and the statue sort of reminds me of old Vegas, even though it's not from like the '60s and stuff. It's from the late '80s, but it's been around a while. It's going to be stored, they don't say where, in a non-disclosed location until they get the show back and running, and they expect that it will be back up and running. And like I said, they still have all the original cast. They were the women that were in the cast were there this morning, and they said they're all ready to go when they get the show a new home.
Yeah, I mean, it's sad to see it move, but it's good news that they'll be bringing it back, and we'll see where it lands and what they do with it. But I always find it interesting as they pull stuff out of Vegas. There's always this weird space that they store everything in, or you've done like roller coaster parts where they just throw them into the dirt out back behind the strip with the bodies the mob buried a long time ago. So it's always funny, it's probably by the plexiglass wherever they put that. There's the bust right next to it.
I think in this case it's owned by the separate guy who owns the show and the bust. And when it left Riviera, they took really good care of it. So I'm assuming that they're probably bringing it back to their house or to their own storage area or wherever. So thankfully it's not in the hands of Caesars Entertainment, who would probably do something to destroy it. Yeah, exactly. So let's talk about Caesars Entertainment, because I remember when Cromwell came back last year, the big sort of thing, and we talked about it on this show, was the 100 times odds on craps. And apparently that's gone now already.
Yeah, well, not surprising. What's the highest now? I think they've said is like 20 times to back it up, which craps is the pass line bet, and then the odds that you put behind has always been trumpeted as the best odds in the casino, because you already did the come out roll, and that's not in favor, but the closest you can get to even money, house advantage wise. So the 100 times was always kind of interesting to see if anybody would max it out, because you're maxing out the best bet in the casino. If you're going to gamble, that's the way to do it. I've never done more than like 10 times, but for the people that did use it, I'm sure they're going to be sad, but I don't think most people ever even came close to it. So we'll see.
Yeah, according to John Mahaffey of Vegas Advantage, and he's great with all of this stuff, it really keeps up with all the table games and stuff. He says that Sam's Town, I think, has 20 times odds. That's the best that's left. Main Street Station did have 20x, but it's not open yet, so maybe it will reopen with it or not, but we don't know.
I need those $3 beers. Bring them back already.
But yeah,
it's the only good thing about Main Street Station is the bar in the center of.
Oh God, you don't even know what you're talking about. Let's not even. I mean, this place has historical artifacts. It's got a really cool casino.
Yeah, you can look at the Berlin Wall when you go pee and all that. Yeah, I get it. But I'm saying, like, if I'm going in there, I'm going to the bar in the center of the casino, grabbing that $3 brewery beer, and then I'm grabbing two and walking out like this.
You could say the best thing is the beer. It's not the only good thing about it. All right, you're trying to trigger me here, Mark. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to something we could agree. Harrah's has ended its $200 million renovation, and this is really branding at its best, because they've been renovating this property since 2016. That's when they started renovating the rooms, and then they stopped, and then they started again in 2018, and then they stopped, and then they did some more now. But they've also redone parts of the casino, and they've redone the marquees outside, redone the check-in desk. Still a lot of purple everywhere, so just the old purple light bulbs have been replaced by purple LEDs. They dropped $200 million. Harrah's is
pool
back.
Still probably looks like a Holiday Inn pool that you see anywhere.
Well, I mean, that's the history of that property. But yeah, I mean, it does look like they did some nice things, but they didn't just spend $200 million last week to fix this. This has been like a multi-year thing. And I think they're also including the price of the Caesars Forum, which is their brand new convention center in that. Not 100% sure, but that's what it seemed like to me based on the press release. The Caesars Forum also going to be opening, and that's directly attached to Harrah's. There's actually a bridge. So that is big news and really good for that property and for the center strip. And at least it all does look kind of spruced up and nice. The casino looks spruced up. A lot of those like jester things are gone, sort of the carnival stuff. But of course, if you like purple, it's all still very purple there. So that's your place to go.
I mean, I've never had an issue with the Harrah's Casino. I found it nice. The sports book's decent, and they have some of the better restaurants in the Caesars brand. Whenever we do like the top 5 places to use your $100 certificate dinner cert from getting Diamond, a couple from Harrah's always ends up on there. So I always thought that was surprising. I know it's like old school, but it's not really one of the upper end properties they have. So I always thought it was surprising that they have some of the better food there, as well as the Diamond Lounge, rest in peace for now, was one of the better Diamond Lounges, best service of them all, I thought. The hotel always was just garbage, I thought, so I never stayed.
Well, I'll say that the rooms are really good. I would say that I like the design of the rooms. If you look at them, they're not far off from what you see at Harrah's in New Orleans. And they've been doing these renovations at some of their Harrah's properties around the country. And I like the aesthetic of it. It's not a luxury room, don't get me wrong, but I think it's probably nicer than Link. It's probably nicer than Flamingo. and at a
And I
very
haven't
proof.
stayed there. I stayed there, probably like 7 years ago, 8 years ago. So I'm sure it's been redone. Harrah's in New Orleans is one of my favorite properties, maybe my favorite one outside of Vegas. So I do like their room. So if they've redone them and it looks more like that, then maybe I'm wrong. But I just remember
Yeah.
they used to have the where you could pay like $50 and they bring you a fully stocked mini bar and you could
Yeah.
just rate it. So that was
Not
like the
not
only cool
anymore.
feature.
Not anymore. But yeah, they have redone all of their 2,500-ish rooms since 2016. The oldest renovations are 2016, so every room has been redone in the last 5 years, and they are really pretty. And they're not usually more expensive than Link, and I do like the aesthetics a little better there. Although the good thing is that most of those rooms, Link, a lot of the Flamingo rooms, and now all of Harrah's have been renovated. So if you like Caesars Entertainment and you like a value, not paying a lot of money for hotel rates, you actually get a decent room, at least a very comfortable room in that area. And so good to see that there. One other thing, you wanted me to bring this up because on the website we cover so much Amazon discounts and Prime Days coming up June 21st and 22nd. And of course, we have our Amazon link, which is in the description. If you're going to be shopping on Prime Day and you want to help support us, that's great. But more importantly, we have on the website, miles2memories.com, every year we do a complete update of all the Prime Day deals. We update it as it goes. Mark is the one who does that, does an amazing job. So not only do we have our link, but we want you to know, go to miles2memories.com on Prime Day. You'll find all the best deals.
Yeah, because anybody that's ever done Prime Day knows that Amazon's system kind of sucks. So when you when you open it up, it's just like blah stuff everywhere, and there's not really a great way to kind of comb through and find stuff that you're looking for. Because a lot of people just want to kind of window shop and see what has a really great deal and what pops up. So we do all that for you, and then we post individual posts of like the best deals, and then we have this big long thread post that we just constantly update with the medium deals, and we add the really good deals to it as well. So you can check through it there throughout the day and see what's going on. And Prime Day, like they have time deals, they have all day deals. So random stuff will pop up at 8 p.m. or 5 p.m. or 8 in the morning. So we cover all that. If you're interested and you kind of hate dealing with the whole Amazon system, it's a good way to do it. So definitely check it out.
Yeah, and it'll be right on the homepage. So just hit up miles2memories.com on Prime Day. You'll see the complete thing. We update it as we go, so you can bookmark it, come back to it, and hopefully that helps some of you guys out with that stuff because we've been doing this for years, and Prime Day is one of our favorite days of the year. So let's go back to Vegas. The Wynn Status match. News broke last week that Wynn was offering a status match here in Las Vegas, and then I was a little skeptical that it was going to last or what the terms were. But then they just released it publicly. They have a page on their website all about it, and they're matching status from a lot of different programs. And I guess if we're just going to talk about the major ones, M Life Gold and Platinum will get you Wynn Platinum status. Noir will get you their Black status, and then if you're on Caesars Entertainment, you have Diamond, you'll get in their Platinum status. So that's sort of what I was looking for, and I did that this morning. And the status match took 2-3 minutes. Once you got up to the counter, they knew exactly what it was. There was 4 agents working when I did it, so 4 customers, one with each agent, and everybody was matching. In fact, everybody had M Life Gold cards, believe it or not. That's what I used to match, although I also have Caesars Diamond I could have used as well. But it went really simple. And then a couple hours later, my wife was working, and I asked her to go do it because she also has Caesars Diamond status. And so she went in there and hit a royal flush. She went and played some free play that she had from when we stayed there a couple months ago, and I guess they've been sending her free play, and she hit a royal flush. So thanks, Wynn. Pretty good. So
drinks are on you next time I come. Thanks, appreciate it.
I guess, but yeah, it couldn't have been more simple. And so if anybody out there is thinking about doing it, they know about the promotion. You just really have to go, show your ID, show your competitor's card, and they'll take care of the rest. And we'll put a link in the description because they do have a website that shows you all of the major programs in Las Vegas, what your status will equal in the Wynn Rewards program.
Now, the only downside is you're supposed to get like a food credit and a spa credit, but I believe they have to be used in your birthday month. Is that correct? I know other people might want it for if they gamble there to earn better rewards and all that, but for anybody that wants just those perks, it's based on your birthday.
So I'm told the food credit is based on your birthday. I want to reach out to them because my birthday, for example, is in March, and the status lasts through the end of this year. So I would be out of luck in that case. The spa credit supposedly is able to be used anytime. So that's what we were told.
Okay.
So I do want to clarify with them about the birthday thing, which I haven't gotten clarification on. But it seems a little bit sort of unfair, but maybe they're just
Yeah,
like, hey,
I'm not gonna waste my time because my birthday is
But
in May. So
luckily, my wife's birthday's in September, so at least we would get to utilize one of them. But hopefully, they're nice for the people who matched, and they'll honor it equally for everybody. But no guarantee there. The status does end at December 31st.
maybe you get it on your half birthday or something.
Maybe. But if you guys have matched Wynn Status, let us know how it went for you. Let us know if you've been enjoying that new Wynn Status. Right now, I believe it's just Las Vegas, so I don't think they're matching in Boston. But maybe if anything changes or they expand it or they restrict it further, we'll let you guys know. Which I expect they're going to restrict it further and it's going to go away. Oh, it's also supposed to run through August 31st. But again, it's been really popular. And a lot of times with loyalty programs, when something's more popular than perhaps they expected, they tweak it. And we might see that. Although Wynn needs to compete with Resorts World, which is opening in a couple weeks. So that's probably one of the reasons that they're doing it. All right, Mark, are you hungry?
Yeah, I haven't had lunch yet.
Well, it's pretty late while we're recording this, but I actually haven't had lunch yet either. And so let's talk about the newest Las Vegas restaurants from Eating Las Vegas. John Curtis, who is a well-known Las Vegas food reviewer, knows his food, knows his Las Vegas restaurants, put together an article with all of the kind of openings of brand new restaurants. A lot of new properties are opening in Vegas with this sort of resurgence coming out of COVID, not just downtown, on the Strip, local restaurants as well. And there were some really interesting ones. The one I kind of picked out of the list, Soul Belly in downtown, he basically says this is as good as Texas barbecue, like legitimate Texas barbecue from Austin. Yeah, I read it and I got to get down there pretty soon. Some other really interesting things at Great Italian at the Venetian in St. Mark's Square, Chinatown, some of the best Chinese barbecue, which I know that's not something you probably like, but Chinese barbecue to me is one of the best foods ever. What stood out to you on the list?
One that popped up was Silver Stamp, which is I guess it's supposed to be like the best beer place in Vegas, or came out like it opened and it was immediately one of the best places to go have beer. So I want to check that out, and it's in the Arts District, which I've never really been in, and that seems like it's really the spot that everybody should go to if you want to go bar hop and get away from the Strip and stuff. It looks like that's a place. There's breweries everywhere, cool restaurants, outdoor eating areas. That's kind of where we're hoping to do the meetup in September, somewhere in there. But we'll see how that plays out. I'm still working, tracking down some people. But yeah, that one stuck out. And then of course Barry's Prime at Circa. I got to get in there and see what that looks like. It looks beautiful.
Well, while we're talking about your love of Circa, let's talk about your hatred of Virgin Hotels, because Night Plus Market, which is the Thai restaurant at Virgin Hotels, which has had amazing reviews, is on that list. But of course, he says it's great food, but he doesn't expect that it'll survive because they've been struggling. So, yeah, interesting stuff. Also on that list is Bagel Mania. And for people who don't know, Harry's Bagel Mania has been around since the late 80s in Las Vegas, just east of the Strip, in not so great a neighborhood. And it was bought by the Siegel family, who owns a lot of stuff here in Vegas. And they have sort of moved it, built this brand new location next to the convention center called Siegel's Bagel Mania. I say that these are the second best bagels in town. And Mark may know this because I'm obsessed with bagels. Like, I know my bagels. I know my Vegas bagels. I still believe Bagel Cafe by far has the best bagels in town because you want that chewiness.
Is Vegas bagels a thing?
No, it's not. That's the problem, right? You're trying to simulate, the best bagels are in New York, and then Los Angeles has some really decent bagels as well where I grew up, because obviously there's a lot of Jews in both places, and growing up in Jewish culture just became very important to me. I don't know. I love bagels. So yeah, it's hard to get a good bagel here. Siegel's Bagel Mania is one of the places, and it's right next to the convention center, right next to where Peppermill is and Resorts World. That area, with so much new cool stuff. Yeah, and it's a really cool building with like old style Googie architecture, and it's very unique, a very unique place, and a welcome addition to the Strip, especially up in that area. So yeah, check out all of these restaurants if you're coming to town. Get some inspiration for where to go on your next meal from somebody who like lives and breathes Las Vegas food. That's John. He knows his stuff. All right, Mark. So we talked food. Now let's talk about the future of Las Vegas security. I know that that's a topic that's top of your mind. You wanted to know what the future will look like. I know Vegas security guards not my favorite as a Vegas vlogger. I find that they're often rude. So I was happy to see that the Grand Sierra Resort, the same owner as the Harrah, by the way, in Las Vegas, has debuted a brand new security robot. Wally is coming to life.
Yeah, I don't know. It just looks like a rolling camera. That's what I feel. Like, I know it has some features that it will alert people if they see people in areas they're not supposed to be in, but I kind of feel like it's just a rolling. I don't know. It looks almost like a Roomba too. Like, like it's gonna sweep the floor while it watches you on their camera. I don't know.
This is how they describe it: the Nightscope K5 autonomous security robot. As featuring the latest in security technology, the K5 includes multiple cameras with a 360-degree field of view. I also have a camera that does that, just so people know. Two-way communication ability and thermal imaging, and also an emergency call button, so you can press it to talk to somebody, just like you're in an elevator. I mean, what's going to take somebody? What's going to stop somebody from getting like drunk and like just taking
they're
this
gonna
thing
pee
and throwing
on
it into
it
the trash
or kick it. It's gonna
just
happen.
It's one thing when, like, I've been in hotels, like the Waldorf Astoria here actually has a robot that, you know, has a little screen and he goes around, greets guests and stuff. It's one thing to have that and then another to call it a security guard. I feel like you're putting a target on this robot's back by calling it a security guard, but I'm guessing that it must have a human partner that watches over it.
Yeah, I would imagine there's somebody like in the room watching the feed and everything, and or maybe sometimes controlling it. Who knows what the plan is? I don't know if it's going to do anything. I guess they're looking at ways to have more security, but not a ton more cost. But I think drunk people in Vegas, it's going to be a show. So just Twitter will blow up as soon as somebody kicks it over or whatever.
For now, it's just drunk people in Reno. So we'll see.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Hopefully, it does come to the Sahara because it'd be cool to see it. And I'm sure that we'll see all kinds of little tech like this as technology progresses. We'll see them implement stuff like this. Drones hovering over the blackjack table just to make sure you don't cheat. No. Okay. Just kidding. All right. So moving on back to our this week, there's just so many like quick stories, nothing like huge, but Las Vegas McCarran International Airport, according to Vital Vegas, this Thursday will officially change its name to Harry Reid International Airport. I tried to find another source for this. What's happened is that there's been all kinds of technical sort of hurdles that they've had to jump since they approved this about 6 months ago. It's going to cost between $5 and $7 million total to rename this airport. But all political views aside, Harry Reid Airport is coming. I do believe that we were really close. So again, I haven't confirmed that it's this Thursday. Vital Vegas said it. I'll believe that it's happening based on all the news coverage I had seen. They had pretty much cleared all the hurdles and are ready to go. Next time you fly in, Mark, for Resorts World, it could be Harry Reid. It will be anyway. That's happening no matter if it's this Thursday or next week or next month.
I have this thing about like just don't name buildings after people because 30, 40 years later what they were like might come out and it doesn't look so good or whatever. Or putting big statues of coaches. If you live in the Michigan area, you kind of know where I'm going with that. Somebody that you idolize and build the statue, stories come out and it doesn't look so good. So can we just stop naming things after people and just call it Las Vegas International Airport? And then you don't have to spend $7 million on nothing.
Well, they probably would still have to spend it on all the signage and stuff. But to your point,
but if they would have done it right the first time.
Pat McCarran was a senator from Nevada way back in the day, and he's a very controversial person, which is the whole reason that they're changing the name of the airport to Harry Reid, who himself is a controversial person in his own time. Again, I'm not political in any way, just saying that there are people who love him and people who don't like him because he's a very prominent political figure in Nevada history and in recent national history. So no matter what, you're going to do that. I do agree with you. Las Vegas International Airport. Las Vegas is such a well-known place, and just it deserves to have its own like name. But that's not going to be the case. It's going to be Harry Reid, and that decision was made a while ago. So that's it. And our last story is going to be the MSG Sphere. I just want to do an update. We talked about this on a previous show. I found the new art. They've come out with even more artwork now, and I'll put it up right now. It looks a little bit better, I will admit, than the artwork that we saw last time, although it also doesn't have screens on it. It shows that there's no screens, or at least there's these LED light bars, it looks like. This is 2 pieces of concept art in a row where we don't see screens, or at least it's not evident that there are screens. So I just wanted to make an update in that drama that we've been covering with the MSG Sphere, because I know
Yeah.
it matters so much to you, Mark.
Well, when you're spending $2 billion on a big ball, you know, you gotta. I don't know. I mean, the screens would have looked really cool. All the renderings, what they could do with screens would be awesome, especially when you're flying in or at night and everything. But I think LEDs, they can do a lot of cool stuff with that, lights and maybe like a light show at night, whatever. So I think just the fact that they initially said screens and showed all this cool stuff and then went to lights makes people upset about it. But if they would have just done LED lights the whole time, everybody would have been like, oh, that looks pretty cool.
I will admit that the concept art, this new concept art, does look a lot better with the light strips than the red sort of bug zapper things that they had last time. So I think it's clear that they've made changes to the outside. We'll see what it looks like in the end. Give them the benefit of the doubt until they get a final product and we can see it, and that's fine with me. I'm still excited for it. I still think it's going to be cool. And that's going to do it for this week's show. Let us know what you think about any of these topics in the comments, all the restaurants, the Wynn Status match, anything that we talked about here, the Crazy Girls butt and good luck, anything that you can think of. Leave a comment, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget we are doing our live stream on the 23rd of June at 5 p.m. Vegas time, 5 to 7. Mark and I are going to talk about our Vegas stories. Plus, we're going to do a lot of fun games. It's going to be a blast. Bougie Miles, Bethany from Bougie Miles, Adam from Travel Fanboy will be here. Don't miss it. Thanks so much for watching.
Fun.
Talk to you next time.
See you next week.